Divorce happens. In fact, it happens to nearly half of first marriages. So how do you announce your divorce? And why are divorce announcements essential to the divorce process? Welcome to a special season of a Fresh Story podcast. Let's talk about divorce announcements.
You get divorced. You get divorced.
Getting divorced?
I'm getting a divorce. You're getting a divorce.
Because she's getting a divorce.
So what if I get divorced?
Hello, hello, hello. We're here with Scarlett today. Scarlett, I would love for you to take a second and tell everyone who you are and what you do and where you're from.
Hi. Well, first, thank you so much for having me. So I live in Detroit, Michigan. I am a mom of 3 daughters, and I have been writing for many years. And kind of as I have moved through different life stages, my content has shifted. So, when I was in early motherhood, I wrote about early motherhood and marriage. And I have now obviously been experiencing a divorce. So I've been making content about that and still motherhood and just kind of cultural commentary and things like that.
Amazing. So Scarlett, how did you announce your divorce to a larger community? Whatever that means to you. It could be a social, it could be family, friends. Some people did it all at once. What was that like for you?
So it was a conversation between my husband and I still call him my husband because the language is a little confusing just because legally he is still my husband.
Mm-hmm.
So me and my co-parent, I guess, rather,
Yep.
That was a conversation that we had, and we went back and forth, and we did disagree about it. It was not something that he felt comfortable ever making a formal announcement on. And I wanted people to have clarity on what was going on. And what I found is that when I wasn't giving people clarity, when there wasn't a statement, I and him, we actually were dealing with more random inquiries from strangers, more kind of gossip, more assumptions. I think, and I respect whatever people want to do, but one of the reasons why I love a divorce announcement is, one, it just reduces the shame around it. Like it's nothing to be ashamed of. And it kind of like it casts a wide net and hopefully gets everyone the information. So you're not constantly getting weird text messages or that type of thing. So eventually he never did a formal announcement, and I integrated the announcement, I think, in an organic way with other kind of like a yearly recap.
That's exactly what I did.
Yeah. I think I made a real, sometime, like one of those New Year's type of recaps for our family. And so I didn't necessarily say, oh my gosh, this is this horrible thing that we're going through. I kind of said, yeah, this is one of the many things that we have been navigating this year. And yeah, it's a hard and difficult and challenging thing, but I did want to kind of like normalize it in a way and help maybe have some compassionate conversation around it.
And when you say announcement, like what were the mediums that you used? Was it social media? Was it text message? Was it different for different groups of people?
So for social media, I did a reel. So like, I guess a video medium. And for family, extended family, I told my mom, and I think she kind of disseminated that information a little bit. When you're going through a divorce, and I know and I know a lot of people know, is so much energy, and you have so little energy to spare emotionally and physically, that I did find it very draining to constantly have to be going over it with people. And then managing their emotional responses to it. That's why I actually I do like the announcement, because I think it gets rid of some of that.
Yeah. What were some of the responses you got from people?
All sorts. Many people offering very kind words and compassionate responses and love and offers of support. And of course, the opposite of that, some vitriol, some anger. A lot of times people, whether they disagree with the decision to divorce from like a moral or religious perspective, or even just, oh, you guys seem so happy and they have difficulty assimilating the information.
Yeah.
And connecting reality with like what they experienced of the couple, that can be hard for people. So I think that's just one of the challenges that people face in general.
Well, and you had a social media presence before this, correct?
Yes. I've always, for lack of a better term, I've always been a writer. I've been blogging since 2015 and I wrote before that. So I've always been publishing my work on my own and having it published other publications. So I didn't just start making content once it was about divorce. Right. So it was kind of it was new information, right? It was a new journey that I was taking my people with on me. And my husband actually is a meteorologist. So he's on TV. So we were contending with maybe a bigger audience and more strangers than some people, certainly not like on a real level that like celebrities contend with. I truly can't imagine it.
Yeah.
But we definitely were dealing with more opinions than just like our friends and family.
It's interesting. Do you feel like people have responded in a way now that you're kind of sharing your divorce journey that they're so happy to see you talking about this because it resonates with them and they see themselves in you in a lot of ways?
Absolutely. I hear from so many women and men too, but just predominantly my audience is women.
Yeah.
But I hear from so many women every day really wrestling with the decision of whether to stay or repair or to go, and kind of seeking some sort of, validation for what they're feeling. So it's been really powerful. It's powerful to know that I'm not alone. And I hope that it is for them too. And it was also really actually in a way alarming to see how widespread this sort of like emotional turmoil is right now.
Yeah. So why do you think a divorce announcement is so important and essential as part of the divorce journey?
I think that divorce is morally neutral. It is neither good or bad. That doesn't mean that it's not hard or painful, but it's not inherently a wrong decision. And our culture is really obsessed with the beginning of relationships, and we don't provide the tools, to even navigate in a relationship.
Yeah.
But to the end cycle of a relationship, we just don't support people in that. And that's actually where families, especially, partnered people with kids, really need the support. So I think it's important to talk about it because we need to reduce the stigma. So if I see a neighbor, they don't just stop talking to me, that like we continue to have a normal, nice relationship and our kids still play together and things don't get awkward.
Yeah.
So it's a painful thing, but it's a regular thing and it's an okay thing. And I hope that by announcing it, we can become desensitized to it. That really angers and upsets people a lot. But whether we normalize or desensitize it or whatever word you want to use, it's still going to happen. So why not support our loved ones through it?
I love that. I love that. So before we let you go, any tips for a woman or a man who is planning on announcing their divorce, especially maybe if they have a social media following or on social media, what would you say?
I would say that whether or not you want to announce it is 100% up to you. You actually don't owe anybody any information. People can feel really entitled if you are in a sort of like a public space to information about your life and they say, oh, well, you give me this information. You're the one putting it out there. No, that's just not how it works. Right.
Yeah.
You don't owe anybody anything. I personally just saw the benefits of sharing it controlling it and controlling that information. And one, people are always going to say and think and chatter and have opinions. But I wanted to have a say about what was going on in my life. But I respect people who don't think that that's for public consumption and want to handle it more privately too.
Amazing. Thank you, Scarlett. Where can people find you and all of your amazing support that you give them on social media?
So people can find me at my Instagram, at Scarlett Longstreet. And then I have a Substack too, which I think is
we'll check.
ScarlettLongstreet.substack.com, but that's also linked on my Instagram too. So
Great.
It's really like that's your like point of access for me is Instagram.
Amazing. The girl with the best name ever. When I told my sister I was coming to talk to you, she's like, Scarlett Longstreet is a real person? That's the best name I've ever heard. I'm like, I know.
Yeah, thank you. You know, people are like, so I did that very like traditional thing, and I took my husband's name, which is like a whole other thing, right? That's a whole other podcast.
A whole other podcast.
But people are like, are you going to change your name? And I'm like, no, this is my name.
I didn't either.
This is my name now.
Yeah, I get it. Well, Scarlett, we appreciate you and all the work that you're putting into changing the narrative too. So thank you for being here, and make sure to go give Scarlett a follow because she is always there supporting people and cheering people on, and just a beacon of light in this journey on social media. So thank you, Scarlett.
Thanks, Olivia. You're so kind.
Thank you for listening to today's episode. A Fresh Story podcast is produced by Fresh Starts Registry, the first and only platform for everything you need to begin again, from home items to Hype Team and everything in between. You can learn more and read today's show notes at afreshstory.com.